Guys, Summoners War version 643 update notice just dropped. We have some quality of life improvements, we have some new siege bases, and most importantly, we have the Totemist skills for all 5 Totemists actually released. Some people on the fence about these Totemists. I think that they're going to be much more useful than the Onmyujis. I have to keep thinking of whether it's the Onmyujis or the Onimushas because I always get those two switched around. So anyway, let's take a look. These guys are going to be probably out, or these girls rather, are going to be probably out by the time that you're watching this. So we're going to be doing all kinds of summons. Saturday morning summons actually going to be lit for once. We didn't even do it last week. We did the Malacca show, which half the people didn't even watch. Like, I don't want to watch this crap anymore. I've been watching this crap for 7 years. Okay, so, Totemist, Fire Totemist, and these girls have 4 different skills. Like, the Volcanic, the Totems, the 4th skill, this is actually, because we have some skill 4 crit damage for artifacts, too. So that might actually come in handy. Usually that just comes in handy for the Samurais, but now we actually get to use it for something else. So Totem Magic attacks the enemy target, recovers the HP of the eye with the lowest HP ratio by 15%. Not bad. Totem Friends attacks all, they all have that. Totem Friends attacks all enemies, remove all beneficial effects granted on them, and disturbs HP recovery for 2 turns with a 50% chance each. I'm curious to see how much this goes up with skill ups, right? That's always what, like any activation rate, I'm always curious what kind of skill up situation it is, or what the cooldowns are too, and also what the base stats, like all these things, like we know the skills, like when we read the skills, we know the skills, but then like there's all this stuff like we don't know, like what if they have these I don't think are going to have leader skills, but unless they mention something about leader skills, but I don't think these are going to have leader skills just because they have 4 skills already. But a lot of times with new units, when you see the skills on them, like you still don't know the stats, you still don't know like who has leader skills, a crazy speed leader skills, like oh my god, this thing has a crazy speed leader skill. Anyway, we have a strip, right? Skill 2 strip, TLDR, skill 2 strip. Ancient Ancestors Wisdom passive increase, so this is in addition to that skill 2 strip, increases let's start that again. Inflicts continuous damage for 2 turns when you attack an enemy on your turn, and inflicts continuous damage to the enemy target for 2 turns when you're attacked by a target during the enemy's turn. So kind of like the Wind Mummy passive, also kind of like Soth Melia kind of situation, right? So we have this AoE strip disturb. This kind of reminds me of a Soth that also has, because it's got a disturb HP recovery and dots, and then it's got a strip. So think about Soth with an AoE strip, but it doesn't have like the increased continuous damage. But that could be it. That could be actually pretty nice in. Okay. Let's read the last one because that's just a passive. So that could be a nice in dot teams or something like that. Stacks 1 totem whenever you're attacked by a target during the enemy's turn, or skill during your turn, becomes able to use Volcanic Tribe Totem when you stack 3 totems, attacks all enemies to remove 1 beneficial effect each, decrease HP by 5% for harmful effect granted when you use the skill. That could be brutal. This could, oh my god, up to 10% is applied to the ball. Okay, never mind. It could still be pretty brutal for like super harmful effect teams, and then the dots. This could actually be pretty, this could be pretty interesting. I think that this might be, because there's a lot of places. Just think of all the places that you see continuous damage used already. And then this is just going to be a very strong continuous damage thing that has an AoE strip in addition to that. And then also decreases HP per harmful effect granted. That's pretty... This is something I am hoping to get a fire. I'm hoping to get any of these, but I would love to get a fire one. I don't even care about the LD. This seems like it's going to be very useful. This already seems like it's like... This seems like it's going to be very useful. Okay, then we have the Totem Magic, the Water 1 support. So this one is, are they all? They also, why are this makes such weird noises, man? Attacks the enemy target, recovers the HP lowest ratio by 15%. So you could probably just build this. I mean, you really can just build this already without like damage, because it continues damage, and then it does more damage here by harmful effects. You just bring this with harmful effects, so you don't have to worry about like crit damage and things like that. Okay. So we have immunity here for skill 2, Dance with the Elemental. We have Strong Bull Soul, recover the HP of allies 15% each, and increase their defense for 2 turns. That one doesn't seem so very exciting. We got immunity, we got a defense buff, and we've got an HP. But there's 2 different skills. 2 different skills, right? We don't know what the cooldowns of these are. And then we have the Sea Tribe Totem. But let's see how the totem skills actually function when we are actually playing with them. Because they could, depending on how they function, in actual usage, they could be super fun, super OP, super meta, or they could be like, oh, this doesn't work as well as we thought it was going to. So, but I am Cautiously optimistic. Stacks 1 totem whenever you're attacked, but I should learn to not be cautiously optimistic, shouldn't I? Attacked by a target during the enemy's turn. Use skill during your turn. Becomes able to use the Sea Tribe totem skill when you stack 3 totems. Recover. They're all 3 totems from what I believe. Recovers the HP of allies by 20%. Increases defense for 2 turns. Grants immunity for 1 turn when you use this. So basically, skill 1 and skill 2, or skill 2 and skill 3 combined when you with the Sea Tribe totem. So this is just a tanky unit. This is just a tanky support style unit. I mean, she's fairly straightforward. It's not anything too crazy that we haven't seen before. Okay. There we go. And then the totem. We already saw all this stuff for here. Remove the harmful effect on all allies. Recovers the HP. Increase the attack power for... I feel like the wind one might be better than the water one. Do we feel like the wind one might be better than the water one? The fusion one stacks 1 totem near target enemy's turn or skill during your turn. Becomes able to use the grassland tribe totem skill when you stack 3 totems. Recovers. But we'll see how these totems actually function in the game soon enough. HP, increase the attack power and grants immunity for 1 turn when you use the skill. I mean, these... I feel like these are going to be more useful than people give them credit for, really. But again, we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just talking on my butt. Okay, so then we have the totem magic for the light one. Should be interesting. Let's see if the light one's going to be super OP or poopy. Grants immunity on all allies. Wise Owl Soul resets the cooldown time of the ally target except yourself. Increase the attack bar by 50%. However, Wise Owl Soul. So this is like a Ganymede, right? This is like a Ganymede, but also increases the attack bar as well. Kind of similar to Ganymede. Also kind of similar to like the light Polar Queen, because it also increases the attack bar a little bit. Not quite as much as she does. But because she grants a turn instantly to something. So, yeah, it's a reset cooldown time. So this is already looking like it's going to be useful regardless. And then we have stack 1 totem whenever you're attacked by a target during the enemy's turn, or skill during your turn. Becomes able to use Sun Tribe totem when you stack 3 totems. Recovers the HP of allies by 20%. Decreases cooldown time by 1 turn. Grants immunity for 1 turn. This seems like it's going to be a nice one too. Like, I feel like these are just going to be nice, flexible units that, like, you could use them. They're not going to be like gimmicky or niche. It's like there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to be able to stick these in, because they just seem like overall very versatile, valuable units. So then we have totem magic attacks the dark one. All of these are support ones. Attacks the enemies. So this one is the same for a skill as they always are. Not always, they usually are. Attacks all enemies, remove beneficial effects. Granted, disturbs HP recovery. This is the same as the fire one. Ancestor's Blessing passive takes damage only from the first hit of the enemy's attack. This doesn't apply to boss attacks. So, anti-Lucian, anti-Julie, anti-Oracle, skill 1, anti-lots of things. Anti-everything that does multi-hits, which everything does multi... Like, there's so many units that are being used that do multi-hits now. Oki, same thing. It's only going to take damage from the Oki hit. Oki first hit. So this is anti all of those things that do additional damage in their artifacts, which people are just stacking a bunch of additional damage artifacts. So this is going to be very... It feels like this is already going to be very meta based on that alone. And then Half Moon Tribe Totem stacks 1 totem whenever you're attacked by a target during the enemy's turn, or use a skill during your turn. Becomes able to use Half Moon Tribe Totem skill when you stack 3 totems. Attacks all enemies, remove 1 beneficial effect each. Decreases the HP of the enemy granted by harmful effect by 15%, and decreases 10% HP if it's the boss. That could... I feel like that could have been like a cooler combo with the Ancestor's Blessing passive and like the totem that she has. Maybe I'm not giving enough credit. I just feel like this one, because this had so much potential to be like some kind of crazy combination. Maybe it still will be a crazy combination, but we'll see. Right, because it still does strips, so it still does damage mitigation, and it does strips and decreases the HP. So it's going to be one of those things where like you don't really know until you actually see it in use and see how crazy it could potentially be. Can't be used in World Finals and Europe Cup. Makes sense. Otherwise, people go crazy trying to get... People are already going to go crazy trying to get them regardless. So let's see. And then we have the SP summon button back again. And we already know what that is. And then we have the Wind Totemist and all the other fusion stuff, which we already talked about in the other one. Battle Training Ground. Meet the new monster in battles. New mock battle with the Totemist. So we can actually see a little bit more of what they do in the battles. So we'll see which ones are actually going to be in there. Then we get the new Transmogs, which are going to be fun, which we already kind of talked about in the other video. Then we have also, this is just quality of life improvements for selling artifacts and runes. So that's nice. I guess I really don't care too much about this specifically, but maybe some other people do. Then we have, I mean, quality of life improvements as long as they help people. I don't really have to care about them. If other people care about them, then that's what really matters. And then we have these special siege bases. So, we have increased the defense of fire monsters by 30%, decreased the HP of water monsters by 50% in this battle. Beneficial harmful effect. This one, monster uses... wasn't this... didn't they already mention these before? Beneficial harmful effect limited to 1 turn in this battle. Isn't this just basically the light on Imusha? On Miyuji? The light on Miyuji. This is basically the whole base. I think that this was already mentioned before previously, because these seem very similar. Dragon Knight can't be used in this battle. Let's just, like, go ham with the Beast Riders. So, and then we have Siege Battle Season 6 announcements. We have special pet. These are just extra reappraisals, extra immortals, extra legend grinds for all these packs. And then we have Guild Shop, Fire Imp Champion, Wind Bounty Hunter. So many pieces have been added if you guys care about that. Those might be in the fusion recipe. Actually, I have the fusion recipe over here. I can just... No, they're not in the fusion recipe. Oh, no, the Fire Imp Champion actually are. Wind Bounty Hunter is for something else. It's for another fusion recipe, I believe. But it's not for these ones. Okay, so they've been added to the guild shop. And then monster bug fixes, just little fixes here and there. Check the monster fusion over here. Check the fusion. Stuff about the new text when things arrive in the box, etc., etc., etc. I don't know what this is talking about game money, though. You now see a new pop-up that gives you brief information on the game money when you tap the game money at the bottom of the shop. What game money? Oh, this is nice, too. The set main sub-property will no longer be canceled due to the rune number change in the rune map. This was so frustrating. Like, I was just trying to not say anything about it because I was like, I guess people like it like this. I was like, I don't want to keep clicking this every time I change the rune slot. When I'm, like, looking for specific runes that have, like, speed and crit rate subs. And then I go from, like, slot 4 to slot 5. And then it's, like, clears the things that I'm looking for. And I'm like, oh, I have to re-click on them. So, yeah. And then this... There's other stuff, so this is just about the notch for iPhone 13, but there's other iOS devices that the resolution is not correct, and then also the places that you tap are, like, eventually the more you keep playing the game, the more it'll kind of shift where the bounding boxes are. I don't think that many people actually have these devices. It's just like a specific weird size of iOS device. I happen to have one of my devices is that size, and it makes weird things happen. I already told ComToUs about this. They didn't care about fixing it, but it's just not very many people actually have that device, so yeah, it's kind of one of the weird devices. But Totemists, that's the most important part. Totemists and SP summons. So we're going to be doing a lot of summons, a lot of Totemist, whatever. A lot of Totemist gameplays. Like, Pego, you're not going to get the Totemist. I know, but I got like a few hundred scrolls, so we could get something. We won't get the Totemist, but maybe we could. We'll get the wind one at the very least. Anyway, that's it for this one. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think which one of these do you think is going to be the most OP? Like, I did that little poll in the community tab, if you guys didn't see it, which I usually do, like polls or community posts or whatever in the community tab of the channel. So let's see who's right. Let's see who's right of which Totemist is actually going to be the most OP. I think some of these could be very, very nice, but I think these are all useful, like, right out of the gate. And not like, oh my god, this is super crap, like the worst monster in the game. like some that shall remain nameless, like the wind on Miyuji, which she's better now. She's at least better now. But when she first came out, I was like, wow, she's so bad. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you as always in the next one.